voter's machine, a viral video from 2012 that shocked voters across America. A man attempted to cast his ballot for Barack Obama, but every time he pressed the screen, the machine switched his vote to Mitt Romney instead. Outrage spread fast and officials were forced to pull the machine, repair it, and bring it back only after fixing the glitch. Now here's where it gets bizarre. 4 years earlier, in the 2008 Simpsons Halloween special, Treehouse of Horror 19, the show had already joked about this exact problem. In the episode, Homer steps into the booth to vote for Obama, but the machine repeatedly counts it for John McCain instead. Frustrated, he tries again and again, until the rigged machine literally eats him alive. Thankfully, reality didn't go that far. But the weird similarity is hard to ignore. OceanGate Titan submersible. Next, in 2023, headlines across the globe centered on the OceanGate Titan submersible. This private expedition set out to explore the wreck of the Titanic, located deep in the North Atlantic. But what began as a daring adventure quickly spiraled into tragedy. The vessel lost contact, and as days passed, panic grew. The world watched, counting down the hours as its oxygen supply ran out. Eventually, wreckage confirmed the worst. The Titan had imploded, killing all 5 passengers on board. Strangely, The Simpsons had touched on something eerily similar years earlier. In the 2006 episode Homer's Paternity Coot, Homer dives in a submersible with Mason Fairbanks, believing him to be his real father. Their mission was to explore a sunken shipwreck, but the journey turns grim when Homer's sub goes missing, his oxygen running out as he slips into unconsciousness until he's eventually rescued. Of course, the cartoon ended on a light note. However, in reality, the OceanGate disaster exposed the fragility of human engineering in the face of the ocean's crushing depths. COVID-19. Next, back in 1993, The Simpsons released an episode called Margin Chains, and looking at it today, the parallels to 2020 feel chilling. In the episode, Springfield residents become obsessed with a new gadget called the Juice Loosener. Orders pour in from overseas, but here's the twist. One sick factory worker in Osaka coughs into the shipment boxes. By the time they arrive in Springfield, the entire town is infected with what becomes known as the Osaka flu. The show even visualizes it with dark virus clouds spreading rapidly through the community. Fast forward to real life, 2020. A virus outbreak once again spread across the globe. This time, not a fictional threat, but a tragically real one. COVID-19 swept through countries, forced worldwide lockdowns, and cost millions of lives. Futuristic watches. The 1995 episode, Lisa's Wedding. The Simpsons offered a quick glimpse of futuristic technology that felt almost like science fiction at the time. During a scene set in 2010, Lisa's fiancé, Hugh, casually speaks into a device strapped to his wrist, a watch that also functions as a phone. Today, that seems perfectly normal. However, remember that back in the mid-90s, smartwatches were far from mainstream. While gadgets like this appeared in spy films, the thought of everyday people owning such technology felt distant and imaginative. But The Simpsons wasn't too far off. Just a few years later, in 1999, the very first smartwatch with phone capabilities was introduced to the public. What once looked like a quirky gag in a cartoon would soon become a reality, and eventually evolve into one of the most common pieces of tech we use today, the USA curling team. In 2010, the episode Boy Meets Curl premiered where Homer and Marge arrived at the skating arena only to see that it was closed to those practicing curling. They tried their hand at curling and eventually joined the U.S. curling mixed doubles team during the Winter Olympics. During the episode, the U.S. team won a gold medal and defeated Sweden. In 2018, the U.S. Olympic curling team, led by Josh Schuster, won their first gold medal for curling. The U.S. team also beat Sweden in the 2018 Olympics with a score of 10-7. The clear prediction is one of the Simpsons' best bets about sports, with many fans immediately pointing out the parallel: Trump presidency. The episode Bart to the Future premiered in 2000, where Bart Simpson saw his and his sister's future. The leader of the country was Lisa Simpson. Lisa mentioned that the United States was tasked with fixing the economy after former President Donald Trump's presidency. Not only was Trump elected president in 2016, but one scene from the show looked as if it were almost replicated in real life. In the same episode, a crowd of people watched as Donald Trump descended an escalator. It's a scene that's now among the Simpsons predictions that came true. In reality, President Trump also descended the escalator with First Lady Melania Trump, while a group of supporters watched in the background. Don Mattingly's hair gets him in trouble. The Season 3 episode Homer at the Bat showcases one of The Simpsons' weirdest predictions to date, despite the episode airing way back in 1992. The episode follows Homer and his softball team as they start to believe that they're lucky because of a particular bat. This enrages a jealous Mr. Buns, who hires MLB players to make sure Homer's team loses. One of these players is sports star Don Mattingly, who is benched for what Mr. Burns insists are unruly sideburns. A year later, during an actual game in 1993, Yankees manager Stump Merrill points points out that Mattingly did not cut his hair for the game, which leads to the player getting benched. It's the exact absurd situation that played out in real life, with such a close proximity to the Simpsons episode, and Mattingly's one-time appearance in it that made it impossible to ignore. The White Party. 2017's The Great Gatsby may mark a bit of a weaker The Simpsons episode, but it has risen to prominence of late for its eerie foreboding of Diddy's now infamous White Party. The season 28 episode sees Homer and Mr. Burns crash a party hosted by hip-hop star JG, which features a range of celebrity guests. It even features an all-white theme that the guests have embraced, with Mr. Burns noting the White Party theme meant something somewhat different back in his day. Arguably, the most eye-opening aspect of the episode is how closely party man and musician JG resembles Diddy, not only in his look, demeanor, and vocation, but even with his own records framed on his walls. Matrix 4. Premiere. Last but not least, this Simpson prediction was easy to miss in the 2004 episode The Ziff Who Came to Dinner. At the beginning of the episode, behind Homer Simpson is a movie poster that reads, "A Matrix Christmas," with the text, "Coming soon." The image presented Neo, played by Keanu Reeves, in a Christmas hat. The Matrix was released in 1999, while The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions were released in 2003. It wouldn't be until 2021 that the next dystopian film in the Matrix franchise would be released. The Matrix Resurrections was released in the United States on December 22, 2021. While Neo was front and center on the poster, he, unfortunately, wasn't wearing a Christmas hat. Walt Disney and Fox merger. In 1998, in the episode When You Wish Upon a Star, Homer met Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger and decided to work for them. Homer suggested an idea for a movie during his phone call to 20th Century Fox executives. The next scene of the episode showed that 20th Century Fox was now owned by Walt Disney. The scene is now among the infamous things The Simpsons predicted, as in March 2019, Walt Disney announced a $71 billion merger with 21st Century Fox. In 2021, Disney and Fox settled on the streaming rights in terms of the films that Disney would own. In other words, this settled what movies would be solely on Hulu/Disney Plus or HBO Max and the deadline for the agreement. And that was just a glimpse of The Simpsons' wild predictions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the next one might just blow your mind even more.